So this week on my AI game development journey for Devlog 21, we were mainly focusing on getting the enemies to patrol around on the map, which, as you can see by probably some of the videos, they initially were sprinting around the map so quickly that it felt like I was at a pinball machine. But eventually I was able to fix that and we continued on. So what I was more so focusing on was, first of all, getting the enemy nodes to move around and getting them spawning in correctly. Because what should happen is that as you move around the map, for example, when your character stops, everything pauses. But as you move around the map, nodes should appear, whether it's an enemy node, a critical threat node, a merchant, a stability node, a resource node, and such. Those will appear that will have their relevant color rings and icons so you can see what they are. What I wanted to do is I wanted the enemies to feel more so alive, where they can patrol around, they go from moving to idle, moving to idle. If you get too close to them, they could start chasing you a little bit, but you're always faster than the enemies, so you can always get out of their range. But it's more so something to put a bit of pressure on you and to make you a little bit more conscious of your surroundings and where you're going. Now, what I also plan to do in this instance is I plan to basically, or at least at the moment, I'm trying to implement a stability system in terms of the kingdom. And the idea is that this is a 0 to 100 stability meter. And as time passes, and as perhaps more enemies appear, or as perhaps issues with council members come up, that stability meter will slowly start to drop. And as it hits certain thresholds, which could be, between 0 to 15, 15 to 30, 30 to 50, and maybe 50 to 70, when you hit those different thresholds, the map changes around. So as the kingdom stability drops further and further, what's pretty much going to happen is that enemies are going to get tougher, perhaps even quicker. At the moment, I believe I'm going to have the option for you to always avoid a battle, where if you avoid a battle, that's going to, as a result, decrease kingdom stability or increase a council member's influence, so you can always avoid battles. However, perhaps when you hit a certain threshold, say perhaps the kingdom stability dropped to 30, then perhaps fights are then unavoidable. So effectively, the kingdom and the map gets far more dangerous over time. It's far more dangerous over time, and part of my thoughts as well is that as kingdom stability drops, there can also be the chances for certain districts to be locked for a certain period of time on random. So that could prevent you from going to heal yourself, that could be preventing you from going to the war district and improving your stats for a certain period of time and such. So effectively, that is what I'm seeing as my time limit for the game. Because effectively, if you want to win at the game, you want to be able to confront and defeat all 7 council members. Whether that's you spare them, you kill them, doesn't really matter. So that's pretty much my thoughts on this. Now, in terms of next week, what I'm going to be focusing on is quite a bit more. So this week I have been a bit caught up with a bit of a house move due to the scenery change, but next week I want to be focusing on a few things. So next week I'm focusing on adding the perk system, where, based on the amount of points you have on strength, agility, stamina, vitality, you'll be able to select perks, which will allow you to effectively, influence things like the amount of balance damage and sort of like that you deal, your sort of stability regen, health, damage, all sorts. But I think that'll be a nice thing which players will just be able to have more control over and gives a bit more variables. What I'm also looking to do is I'm also looking to be able to add a lot more sort of different of the nodes to the map and the different types of nodes that pop up as well, and so on and so forth. And eventually, one of the things I will be doing that I've already started doing, I've already started making some game music with AI. I didn't realize how good this was, but this is really good. If you haven't seen something called Suno, that's something definitely to look up, because I've already made some AI music or some like medieval music for my game, like map music and even combat music using Suno, and it's really damn good. So I'm really looking forward to being able to implement that to the game. But overall, that's pretty much the summary for this week, and I'll chat to you soon.